Welcome on in, trainers. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about what's happening in Pokemon Go this week. There is some very big news to talk about here. So let's get started with Scattered to the Winds, which is happening February 11th to 15th. This is a very small but important event. First off, we are getting the debut of Shiny Scatterbug, Spupa, and Vivian in Pokemon Go, and there will be a shiny boost for this event as well. Now, if you don't know, you get Scatterbugs by pinning postcards from friends. A quick little tip here, you can actually pin them and then unpin them right away before opening them so you don't fill up your postcard book, and you'll still get that to count towards getting your Scatterbug encounter for that postcard. Now, what type of Scatterbug you get and which Vivian it will evolve into depends on where in the world that postcard comes from. So you can see a little bit of a map here up on screen, but this makes it very important to make distance friends in Pokemon Go. There are dedicated groups on social media platforms to do this. And we also have a spot in our Discord where you can do that as well, connect with trainers from around the world to get certain postcards, to get certain Vivian patterns. So head on over to our Discord if you want to check that out. Now, to help us get more Scatterbug shiny checks during this event, here are the bonuses we're going to get. We're going to get 2 times XP for spinning a Pokestop, 5 times XP for spinning a Pokestop for the first time. We can open up to 40 gifts per day, so that'll help us get more Scatterbug encounters. And then if you have the Expedition Access February ticket, you can open up to 60 gifts per day. And then there's going to be an increased shiny chance for Pidgey as well as Scatterbug. Then for the event, there is going to be wild encounters as well. The best of these is Pidgey, which evolves into Pidgeot, which has a Mega in the game. It is outclassed in both its typings as a raid attacker, that's normal flying, but it is good to have on hand for that normal flying type combo to boost candies. And it can also be a spicy pick in the Great League and Ultra League. There's also going to be field research for the event, which grants rare candy and encounters with event-themed Pokemon, likely just the ones from the wild encounters, as pinning is currently the only way to get Scatterbugs. I don't know that we'll be able to encounter them in this field research. And then there's also going to be a $5 USD ticket for this event. That'll get you 16,500 Stardust, 3 rare candies, an event-themed avatar pose, encounters with event-themed Pokemon, and they say a few more things as well. Here's a look at the pose. It is themed to Scatterbug, obviously, with the male in hand. Now, the other big news for this event is an increase in the amount of guaranteed lucky trades we can get. So if you don't know, trading older Pokemon in Pokemon Go increases the chance that the trade will go lucky. And if you trade old enough Pokemon, then it is a guaranteed lucky trade. So 2016, 2017, and 2018 Pokemon, they're now adding 2019 Pokemon to that list. And furthermore, it used to be capped at 25 guaranteed lucky trades this way. It is now being increased to 35 guaranteed lucky trades this way. So get scrolling through your collection, see if you've got any good shinies or legendaries hanging out there from 2019. All right, that's it for all the big events this week, probably so we have some time to prep for Road to Unova and Unova Tour coming up. Road to Unova is starting the week after this. I do have a counter guide coming out. There is going to be all the legendary and mythical bosses coming out in raids, and they're each going to get a raid hour on a specific day. So if you want to catch that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the little bell for notifications so you don't miss it. And if you're looking to prep for the Unova tour that is coming up very soon, I put out a video on that as well. I'll link it in the description, and I'll also pop up in the suggested videos at the end of this one. All right, now let's roll through all our regular weekly stuff, starting with the GBL Cups. So we are going to have Master League and Love Cup Great League Edition until February 18th. Then we're going to get all 3 Open Leagues available from February 18th to the 25th. Now, if you're looking for help building teams or people to practice against for PvP, pop in our Discord. We have a PvP section there. Lots of people who are willing to help out, and you can generally find some people to do some practice battles with as well. All right, next up we have the max battles for the week. The max battle bosses will switch out on February 17th. We will see Machop, Pidove, Grookey, and Phalanx. Now, Machop is the easier fighter out of Machop and Phalanx, so a good one to go after. Plus, there is Gigantamax Machamp that should be coming to the game at some point, so you can also stock up on some of the candies. Another good one here is Grookey, which evolves into Rillaboom and is a pretty good grass-type Dynamax Pokemon. Then on the Max Monday for this week, which happens every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. where one boss takes over all the power spots, we are going to get Pidove in there. It's not super useful, but it can be shiny, so if you've got nothing else to throw your max particles at for this week, that can be a good one to get a couple more shiny checks. In terms of the Spotlight Hour, which happens every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m., this week we are going to get Inkay with 2 times Catch XP. This one can also be shiny, so if you don't have the shiny, it's a good one to go after. And it's Evolution Malamar, which you have to turn the phone upside down around to evolve it is good in the Great League and the Ultra League. So definitely a good one to go after here if you can. All right, now in terms of our raid bosses, we are gonna have Enamorus until February 17th. Enamorus can't be shiny, but it is a fairly decent fairy type raid attacker and is pretty good in the Master League. If you're looking for some counters, check out my last week's video. I'll also link that in the description at the end of this video as well. Mega Tyranitar will also be around until February 17th. This thing is a good dark and rock type raid attacker, although for the rock type you do need a legacy fast move. I put counters for it in the last video. Then starting on February 17th, we're gonna have the legendary 5-star raid switch out to Yveltal and Xerneas. Now Yveltal is a top pick in the Master League, ranking number 3, and a top flying counter, ranking number 4 overall and number 2 excluding Megas and Shadows. For dark typing it doesn't really fare as well, but it is still a top 10 overall and number 4 excluding Megas and Shadows, so still pretty decent. Now if you're going after Yveltal, here are some of the top counters for you, including Megas. Once you have your Mega picked, here are the top counters excluding Megas. And then if you still need some more to fill out your team, here are the top 20 counters excluding Megas and Shadows. All right, next up, let's talk about Xerneas. Now Xerneas is a top Master League pick. However, it falls just below the much easier to power up Florges, which evolves from Flabebe. In terms of a fairy type raid attacker, it is ranking number 5, just behind Incarnate Form Enamorus, which was out just before it. And you do need the signature fast move Geomancy, which it won't have during these raids. So Enamorus is the best option if you can raid that before it goes away. However, Xerneas is still a great looking Pokemon. It is useful and it does have an amazing shiny, which if you don't know, it has 2 modes, the battle mode and the regular mode, and it looks a little bit different between each mode. So a very cool Pokemon to have in your collection for sure if you're missing that shiny. Now, if you're going after Xerneas, here are the top counters including Megas. Once you have your Mega picked, here are the top counters excluding Megas. And then if you need some more, here are the top 20 counters excluding Megas and Shadows, so you can fill out that rest of the team to take down Xerneas. Mega Tyranitar will switch out to Mega Garchomp on February 17th. Now Garchomp is a good Master League Pokemon, ranking 49 with the legacy move Earth Power, and Mega Garchomp is the second best ground type, coming second to Primal Groudon, and regular Garchomp itself is number 11 overall as a ground type, and number 3 excluding Megas, Primals, and Shadows. It is also the number 2 Dragon type raid attacker, just behind Mega Rayquaza. Regular Garchomp is the number 7 Dragon type raid attacker, excluding Megas, Primals, and Shadows. Now in terms of counters, here are the top counters for Garchomp, including Megas. Once you picked a Mega, here are the top 10 counters excluding Megas you can put on your team if you have them. And if you still need a few more, here are the top 20 counters excluding Megas, Primals, and Shadows. And then for the weekends, of course, we are going to have the legendary Shadow Raids, which for the rest of this month is going to be Shadow Regirock. One last thing to talk about here, and that is Raid Hour, which happens every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. For this Raid Hour, we are going to have Yveltal and Xerneas taking over all the gyms. Both of these are useful. Both of them have good shinies. Definitely ones I will be going after during this Raid Hour. All right, everybody, that's all the information I have for you in this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments down below or pop on over to our Discord. Lots of knowledgeable people there that can help you out. But right now we have to say a huge thank you to our mythical members, King's Lounge, Body on a Planet, and Kate. Thank you to them for supporting the channel at the mythical level, as well as all of our members and all of you who watch the videos. Come and watch the live streams, whether you lurk or chat, hit that like and subscribe button. All of that stuff is super, super helpful. Very grateful for all of you. Happy hunting. Hope you get yourself some nice shinies during these events, and we'll see you in the next one, friends.
I've got something incredibly funky.